3 of the best builders in the valley had just failed, together. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why, and it has almost nothing to do with how good any one of them was. So what actually happened? Hours earlier, Milo, Kai, and Noah had been given one bridge to raise and one afternoon of light to do it in. Across the gap waited market day, the whole valley's trade for the season. Milo saw the whole span in his mind before he'd placed a single plank. The elegant answer, already solved. That's his strategic mind at work. Milo doesn't move until he can already see the whole path. He checked his plan a second time anyway, not because he doubted it, because there was always one more question worth asking before he moved. Kai broke ground before the light could turn. "Faster," he muttered. "We're losing the light." That's his activator drive. Kai doesn't wait for perfect. He wants moving. His hammer slipped once, rushing. He caught it, laughed it off, and kept going. Speed was the whole plan. Noah checked every knot twice. Hers, at least, would hold. That's her empathy. She can't leave a detail unchecked if someone else is about to trust it with their weight. But when the 3 pieces met in the middle, they didn't meet at all. 3 geniuses, 1 bridge, and a gap none of them had planned for. It isn't the first time skilled people have failed exactly like this. In 2015, Google spent 2 years and hundreds of interviews looking for what actually separates the teams that close a gap like that from the teams that don't. They ranked 5 things. Psychological safety came first by a wide margin. How safe people feel to speak up, disagree, and admit what they don't know. Second was dependability, trusting a teammate to actually follow through. Third was structure and clarity, everyone knowing the plan and how decisions get made. Talent wasn't even on the list. None of that is new to Milo, Kai, and Noah's Valley either. Psychologists just gave it a name. Strategic thinking, activating, and empathy, working as one system instead of 3 separate talents. It happened again in Athens in 2004. The most talented U.S. Olympic basketball roster ever assembled. Allen Iverson, Tim Duncan, a 20-year-old LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony. Several veteran superstars had skipped these Olympics entirely. What was left was talent, but almost no time to actually become a team before the games began. Head coach Larry Brown was known for favoring seasoned veterans, and here he had almost none. The mismatch showed immediately. They lost 3 games, more than any U.S. men's Olympic basketball team ever had. Puerto Rico by 19 points, then Lithuania, then, in the semifinal, Argentina, for the loss that cost them gold.
We didn't have a chance to build a team.
The players were brilliant. They just didn't know each other's game. That phrase, "didn't know each other's game," is oddly specific. It has a real name in psychology, and it didn't start with sports at all. Psychologist Daniel Wegner first noticed it in married couples back in 1985. One partner remembers the finances, the other remembers the birthdays. It's not that one of them remembers more, they specialize, and each trusts the other to cover the rest. Neither could tell you how they divided it up, they just always had. Researchers call it a transactive memory system, a shared, living map of who knows what, who's good at what, and who to trust with which part of the problem. In teams, it forms the same way it does in a marriage, through repetition, doing the work together again and again, until the map is second nature. It breaks exactly the way the 2004 team broke it. Throw people together fast, under pressure, with no repetition, and there's no map yet. Talent can't fill that gap by itself. So the fix is just spend more time together? Not quite. Some teams spend years together and never built the map. Worse, most teams don't even know their map has a hole in it. It's the curse of knowledge. Once you know something, it's hard to imagine anyone not knowing it too. So nobody says it out loud, and everyone assumes the other person already gets it. The real question is what actually builds a shared map, reliably and fast. Nowhere is that map more urgent than a hospital. A patient gets handed from one team to the next, shift after shift, and every handoff is a chance for it to break. In an average 5-day hospital stay, a patient can be handed off as many as 15 times. Communication breakdowns, not missing skill, are the traced root cause of roughly 2 out of every 3 of healthcare's most serious preventable harm events. A separate analysis put the number even higher. Up to 80% of serious errors involve some kind of communication lapse.
One study tracked surgeons paired with the same assistant again and again. After just 15 operations together, the same 15 coincidentally as that 5-day hospital stay, complication rates dropped, reoperations dropped, and the death rate was nearly cut in half. Same surgeon, same skill, a better map.
So hospitals borrowed a structure built decades earlier for submarine crews, then adapted by pilots. Situation, background, assessment, recommendation. In practice, it sounds almost boring. Situation, her blood pressure is dropping. Background, 2 hours post-op. Assessment, I think it's bleeding. Recommendation, I need you now. Boring is the point. It doesn't rely on 2 people already trusting each other or already having history. It works between total strangers on their very first shift together. So here's the actual answer. You don't need years together to build that shared map. You need a structure that hands it to people directly. Watch what that looks like back at the ravine. Milo, Kai, and Noah looked at the gap between their 3 pieces, and this time, before anyone touched another plank, Noah asked a different question. Not who's fastest, but who actually knows this part best. "I'll map the span," Milo said. "I'll drive the frame," said Kai. "I'll watch the seam," said Noah. This time, when Kai broke ground, Milo already knew where. Halfway through, Kai almost charged ahead alone again, old habit, but caught himself and checked with Milo first. When Milo paused to think, Kai knew to wait. By the time the light faded again, the bridge held. Not because any one of them had gotten more talented overnight, but because finally, each of them knew the other 2 as well as they knew their own work. The gap that had swallowed their first attempt was gone, not patched over, but never there in the first place, because this time they'd built the map before they built the bridge. That's the real lesson behind every star team that's ever collapsed, and every ordinary team, or hospital ward, that's ever quietly outperformed one. A basketball team, a bridge, a hospital ward, different stakes, same missing piece. Talent finds the parts. A shared map builds the bridge. You don't need a formal program to start. At your next handoff, a meeting, a shift change, a project pass-off, say plainly what you know, what you don't, and who should own the gap. Something as simple as, here's where this stands, here's what I'm not sure about, and here's who should take it from here. That's the whole map said out loud. If you want to see whether your own team already has that shared map or where its gaps are, take the free team check at strengthhack.com/safeteams.